the bravery that she's trying to place herself in to maintain this narcissistic mask, it has to stay on. It has to stay on. If it does not stay on and there's a slip, it becomes a whole different breakdown situation. And this is what they try to do, because forgiveness, the centralness is empathy, understanding, acknowledgement, not entitlement and blaming something else and using other excuses and, you know, being passive aggressive and lying, sheer lying. Hey guys, it's Morali. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Back at again with another daily and consistent video. Fasting is now beginning soon, so when this takes place, I normally become even more nocturnal than I am. So I will stay up till sunrise and obviously, you know, sleep around 4 5 a.m. So do expect videos, you know, to be uploaded around this range of time as well. Normally I would upload videos the next morning to discuss these topics, but now I have a little bit more time because I do intend to stay up till sunrise. So yes, expect even more content. Subscribe to the channel, please. If you guys haven't, I don't understand what you guys are doing. I'm giving you guys content every single day. So many of you guys are eating it up, so I'm sure that most of you will love this too. So subscribe and join this particular channel. Now let's get into this video. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram as well. Just put up a new picture, guys, and this picture is just saucy. It's just a whole new level of, like, I don't know who that is. We need to know, because this situation is everything right now. It really is. So Morali, what are you waiting for? Now, Miss Shallon Lester, you know, I've discussed on my channel the problematic situation that took place, and most of them were on her channel anyways. It's not as if they were something else. They were literally uploaded to her own channel. This was her doing this to herself. She was slowly getting lost in this particular kind of celebrity toxic culture lifestyle and world that she really has been obsessed about since, I believe, the beginning of time for her. But I wanted to entitle this video, you know, a clinical psychology analyzes and reads the particular apology statement, because, you know, I do want to come at it from that particular perspective more so than anything when it comes to this specific video, and I feel like that particular analysis will definitely help the situation. Now, this particular other individual who first addressed this stuff, you know, this is who she is referring to partially in the video, partially in the statement, sorry, as well. So that I thought I would just let you guys know. Now, one thing that I find very interesting, first and foremost, is that she has addressed this on Reddit. She hasn't done it on Twitter. She hasn't done it on Instagram, on YouTube, where her fan bases normally are. She's done it on Twitter, where she has a very minute amount of individuals who most likely, you know, are subscribed or follow her Reddit because they agree with everything that she says. So therefore, she finds it easy to, you know, leave that on there because it's a less audience, therefore less impact. This is her thought process, I would believe, and then believe that these people who are following her will only like the stuff. So by giving it to a minor, you know, kind of audience, that is, I believe, the intention for why she's going on Reddit, because it doesn't make sense as to why you'd go in there and not stay on your big platforms. Hello, my little showliners. It begins. I wanted to just comment on what's going on here to you guys, the ones I actually care about, not drama seekers using my name for clout on YouTube. Already, we have begun this particular kind of apology in a very kind of passive aggressive kind of manner, where she has already expressed that people who are discussing her are using her for clout. Well, no, people aren't using you or discussing you or using you in the form of clout. Already, as you can see, from a particular kind of psychoanalytical perspective, she has already begun in this particular apology by holding herself in a victim narrative. Oftentimes, you find people who like to remain and themselves as victims, no matter how much they perpetrate situations or start the fire or whatever, they will always hold themselves as the victim. Why? Because it's easily digestible for them to not take accountability if they remain in a victim state. It is easily digestible for them to not feel like they've done anything bad if they feel like they're the victim. If you feel like you're the victim, you won't feel like you've done anything bad, therefore you don't have to feel bad. And that is why I feel is what is going on here with this particular apology sheet. This is how it started, where she's like, I want to address it here to you real guys, as if everybody else isn't real, number one, and number two, already addressing the fact that people are using her for clout, that, oh, poor you, people are using you for clout, you're the one who's a victim here. This is how she started this theme, and that in itself can only really carry on for how this apology is going to go. I'll pick that up later, but let's get into this, guys. Clinical psychology and cognitive neuroscience, where we studied a lot of the brain, neurology, and mental health and personality disorders, and how they interrelate with each other and how they impact each other, and really the brain chemistry behind stuff. And looking at passages of apologies and behaviorisms when it comes to personality disorders and functions, and how people, really interact in therapies and how they disengage, was something that was related to stuff like this, which is why I also wanted to entitle that video that way. Number one, I have been listening to your feedback through all this and I hear you. You want more positive videos and less armchair diagnostics. That's totally cool with me. I want my channel to be a place where you leave feeling better, not worse, so I'm taking that note and will put it to use. I've been listening to your feedback through all this and I hear you. Do you really hear you? Do you really hear people? Do you really hear what everybody is saying? They're not really professing that they want less armchair diagnostics or positive videos. They just want you to actually address what is going on. Already you've started off this apology and you're not addressing whether it is an apology or not. You're not really addressing what people are talking about, what the reasons are, what exactly is the negativity in relation to specific stuff that you have said about XYZ. That really hasn't been. What we already have here is that she started up with a victim narrative and now she's acted as if this person who's working her hardest to cater to her fans, cater to everybody and what they want. She's providing it for you. I'm the victim, but here I am providing you what you want to see. And we already have this kind of strong narrative that she's trying to really bring her way, but it doesn't seem to be working. I blocked D'Angelo because he posted my address and phone number on Twitter, which is the other YouTuber. I've had zero contact with him, never heard of him, and he's doxing me. Whatever you think of me, that's not okay. Now, D'Angelo has actually spoken out about this in a particular video and has reflected that he hasn't been doxing her at all. For those of you who don't know what doxing means, it's a term that means basically that somebody who turns private information public, like addresses and stuff like this. Apparently he put out a tweet or something like this, a phone number on Twitter, but he never addressed anything on Twitter. He never posted anything on Twitter. And if he were to post anything on Twitter, that would have got reported or taken down. It takes a while for that to take place. Twitter doesn't deal with these things as soon as possible. So again, this second bullet point, we started off with the victim narrative. I told you we started off with the victim narrative, and now she's really going in deep. She has to place herself in a victim narrative so that she does not take accountability, and it's easier for her to understand that. If you place yourself in a placehold of victim narrative, then the other person could feel guilty. The other person could feel like, maybe I'm the one who's really bad, maybe I'm the one who's upset here. And when they feel guilty, the person who's playing the victim narrative can then ensnare them in and play them wherever they want on the board. Play them wherever they want on the board. This is what people like to play this narrative so that they really have control over the opposing individual. And really, you have to play by facts, and it's hard for you to see the facts because you're misted. There's too much mist, and that mist is a metaphor for gaslighting. When you become gaslighted, you believe that what somebody is telling you is actually the truth, and your sanity gets questioned. This is what happens. People who play victims that are actually the perpetrators enable you to question your sanity, and then you realize that maybe you are the one wrong when you actually aren't at all. It can rock your head. So already playing the victim narrative, and she's completely just lied. I'm never ever going to do a clapback video about any of those people, not ever. Anyone who wants me to is no different than that someone circle up outside a bar shouting fight, fight, fight. Dress it up as wow, thought you were different. However, you won, but you're here for the drama. I'm here for the growth. If you were really here for the growth, you wouldn't even place your apology or points like this at all, but you're not here for the growth. This is what this particular individual has been doing on channel for a while, from what I've been seeing and doing my research. This is what this person has been doing. She's referring to as a clapback video. Well, no, not really, to be honest. People are addressing how you have really just degraded so many people, such derogatory uses of terms, discarded people, so that people are going to die, made such lies about people having abortions when they didn't, and people are going to rehab to con people out of drugs. All of this were lies, 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 and more lies. This is what people are addressing. They're addressing your lies. Your lies are being addressed, but this person doesn't want to acknowledge their lies because they're in their victim narrative. They're in their victim narrative state. Did I post a rather lame, weird tweet 10 years ago? Yeah, sure I did. I guess I was lame and weird 10 years ago. I mean, I definitely was. I was in the throes of depression, just out of that abusive relationship I've discussed. I cut it just a mess. But through therapy and medicine, I changed my life. Ask yourself, who were you a decade ago and if you're different now? And if you are different and better, have I, in the support of the Shallon entourage, helped you become that better person? I want everyone to feel they have the room to grow. And I'm working to provide that to myself as well. Throes of depression. Just out of that abusive relationship I've discussed, I cut it just a mess. You may have gone through hard things in life. A lot of people have gone through hard things in life, but that doesn't excuse you for your behavior. Rather, it enables it. And what I mean by enables it is that because you are using it as an excuse to enable that behavior, you are using it as an excuse in an apology. If I've hurt somebody, if I've said something about somebody, if I've, I wouldn't be saying, using excuses that I've gone through in my life or stuff that I've been through in an apology to you. or in a statement to you. Again, the narrative, she's continuously, in each point that she's putting out, she's trying to shift the narrative, change the narrative continuously, constantly. And I feel like, she herself has already expressed that her therapist believes that she has narcissistic traits, and this is one of them. There is no empathy in this particular statement. There's no empathy for anybody that she has expressed such a derogatory manner, which we've seen in my previous video and many of the YouTubers discussing it. There really hasn't been any empathy there at all. It's all me, I, self, talking about the woes of your life in a statement when you have offended so many other people. This is what we're seeing here. And if you are different and better, have I helped you? Again, trying to now praise herself. Now it's about you just completely changing everything. She's now changed it to victim narrative. She's now in that narrative now where, people are probably reading this thinking, wow, she's been through so much and stuff. She's not going to clap back. She's a strong woman. Wow, this guy has doxed me. Wow. And then she puts in the, have I made you feel better? Then somebody will be like, maybe you did one time. Then people will end up praising you. Do you see how the narrative gets changed by so many of these steps that we see in this particular apology? If you actually analyze it with such a psycho perspective when it comes to this, and take your time and really think about things, stuff like this, you have to look at every single particular situation at hand, and even how it's phrased and how she's putting it in bullet points, trying to make each point clear so that the narrative can be really changed. You have to look at everything. Badass women, and those kind of women, well, we ruffle some feathers. I don't think you lying about people getting abortions, thinking people are going to die, calling people manipulators, laughing about immigrants and how they're going to have to go back to ICE, some of that is you ruffling some feathers. That's you actually being abusive, derogatory, and mocking mental illness to a whole new level. So please get it right and state the facts right. Stop changing this. I think it's just very poor. The rest of it, I just feel like is the same as this apology. And, as you can see the red reply, she's getting literally slammed left, right, and center. Statement is basically just littered in self-justification and blame-shifting statements, which are guilt-ridden in narcissistic apologies. And this is what they do. I did it because of XYZ. I'm sorry I did that because I did it because of this, you made me do it, or this particular. These slips kind of just convey their complete lack of ownership or responsibility, resulting from nothing but sheer entitlement. There is simply no recognition of any wrongdoing at all, because most of people who align with the narcissistic traits, they are preoccupied with defending their belief in their own superiority and kind of perfection. This kind of precludes, because the capacity to reflect with critical honesty on behaviors is just simply not there. There's no openness to being flawed at all. And when it comes to apologies, they really are central to empathy, capacity to understand empathy, which is what I expressed before, but none of this is there. Rather, we have this kind of pathological sense of entitlement of just a true individual such as Shallon, which I feel like we're getting from this. There's entitlement littered all over this, and it just makes them maintain this mask that they have. The mask is there, and this particular statement that she has given is trying to maintain the mask here. She doesn't want to move it left or right. She's making her kind of excuses, making a guilt-ridden narrative, no empathy here, blame shifting, justification for stuff, nothing about I am sorry, I messed up, or addressing any of that. Rather, she moves it to, but I've helped you, have I helped you? We're the real women, we're the growth people, we're the strong people, we can ruffle people's feathers. I can go on and on about this, I really can. Let me know what your thoughts are. Subscribe to the channel, click that button for daily and consistent content. Head over to my Instagram, Murad_Murali, subscribe to the channel, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.